Right, good evening. Just about. Hopefully it's still the evening and not next morning. Right, apologies about that. I will explain. It's partially technology, partially my fault. Got an Xbox Series S yesterday and loaded it up and didn't think to do a test stream beforehand. TD is driving around with no helmet on. What a dangerous guy. So yeah, for some reason, the settings I have on this Xbox, which is my old Xbox as I can now call it, are good, but somehow the Xbox Series S doesn't let me stream very well. So I'm going to have to sort of investigate that. It's my fault for not doing a test stream, but in fairness, I didn't think that would be a problem. But it turns out it is a problem. So anyways, we will sort that out next time we are with you next week. We've missed quite a frantic Q1. Ratticus, TD, Sam and Padge heading out. I think someone got a puncture from AJ Sam. TD ran out of fuel. And we have a feeling that the lobby may be glitched slightly. TD driving around with no helmet on. So it's all going on tonight. And those glitches may have been caused by me leaving and rejoining the lobby, who knows? Or they could just be a bug. But we're into Q2 and I have no idea what the weather's doing, so if any drivers are in here, let us know what the weather's doing. And qualifying 2, you know what that means? This is where strategy takes centre stage. We're at the wonderful Zandvoort circuit this week for round 10. Into double figures now of the season. Good evening, Dayman. And good evening, TD. Dry weather throughout, thank you very much for the info. So strategy will take precedence in this qualifying session, as well as getting through to the top 10 shootout, of course. John, thank you for the follow. One of the drivers here. But we will go on board with Flu, because he is our featured driver tonight. I used to do this in No Assist before I moved house and missed quite a few streams, but it is back. Flu is our driver we're going to be looking at a little bit more throughout quali. We missed him in Q1, however, hopefully he makes it through to Q3 and we can see what he can do. In the Aston Martin this season, and the Zandvoort lap looks a little bit like this. Careful not to touch that curb into turn 1, you will get a little bit of oversteer and spin the car around. Very tricky section here. You might see some cars going side by side and through this banked corner. Some like to take a tight line, some like to take a wide line, up to you. Very flat out, left and rights into the S section where the sector 1 split now is, after being moved from the last game, into a very tricky series of right hand corners. Which you can easily get wrong. Into the very technical and twisty sector 2 now. Again, a long left-hander leading up to DRS. Activation is just before that corner. And you get DRS activation just out of that corner. It just puts you a little bit closer into this final sector. A very tricky couple of corners there. You may see a couple of overtakes go in there during the race, but again, who knows if that is the best place to overtake. The best place to overtake is out of turns 13 and 14 here, through the banked right-hander with DRS assistance, and a long run down to the line Blue does a 1 minute 12.0 using the soft tyres, which we will get up on our screen. Everyone using the mediums apart from Flu himself and this man here, Prev, who's getting a nice little slipstream off of his teammate. TD says my icon said wet in quali at some point, so that's interesting. Might be at the end of Q3, who knows? So it might be interesting to see all the drivers going out straight away. Check APS Appy, the collars of a driver cap when he's going rounds. Well, Prev goes P3 on that, nice little lap, and Chives, very good, currently leading the pack in P1. We will have a look at APS Appy's lap. Nice, nice helmet design there. Number 52 for APS Appy. We'll go through the driver's standings in the 5-minute break. I would have normally done them in Q1, but we'll do them in a little bit, if you don't mind. Amos Fairley beats Chives, goes quickest. And of course with a very short lap here at Zandvoort, it means the times are going to be super close. Look at that, between the top 8, all within half a second of each other. Uppy getting close to invalidating at the end of that turn 13. It's in a 1 minute 12, just behind Flu. Dayman goes P11, 1 minute 12.4. And is Ross on a lap? I believe he is. Go on, boy, Ross. I believe here the preferred strategy is the medium to hard, or it could be the medium to soft. And it looks like Ross has lagged out. So maybe there are a few bugs and glitches throughout this lobby. May have to do a restart, or think about doing a restart before the race. Hopefully it holds up for qualifying, but I think Ross should be quite safe in P7 at the moment. If he can get back into the lobby, he won't have an issue. That remains to be seen. And Chives has now left. And he was now Connor's retired. I believe that's in the pits. Maverick now yet to set a lap time. Still 8 minutes left of the session, so if Chives and Ross can get back in, they should not have to worry too much. And someone unable to invite drivers back, so we could very much have a glitch lobby here, which is a shame. And now Alex has left the session, and I believe he's out on track, so I think it's kicked Alex out too. Definitely some glitches going on. Maverick sets a 1 minute 12.8, followed by a lovely spin there through turn 1, and he'll do well not to block the pit lane and get disqualified. Dr. Edward coming around the final corner now. If the host lags out as a restart, right, and iRossJ is host correct. He is host, that is correct. Yeah, I do think this lobby is in the mud, so yeah, we are discussing having a restart for those watching. I know my commentary's not been amazing so far, but there are a lot of lobby bugs at the moment, which is obviously a shame for those who have set a good lap time, like Fairley, Hoy, Chives, Connor, Prev. A little bit more fortunate for those who went out in Q1, but it is, lobby glitch, and no one wants to race a 50% in glitch lobby, because anyone could bite the dust at any moment. Dr. Edward goes P11, and I think they're trying to start a new lobby, but the game's not quite working. I wonder if it's the servers. I wonder if it's the Codemasters servers have decided to take a massive poo on everyone this evening. But yeah, not ideal with all these drivers dropping out of the session. It really isn't a fair place to yeah, really isn't a fair platform for everyone to showcase what times they can actually do in qualifying. Seems like a lot of people are struggling to make a new lobby here. Yeah, Magic. Loads of people have been disconnected. And there you see it. The lobby is glitched. Mr. Wiggles fastest on a 2-minute 58.3. There you have it. So, yeah, Dayman's gone. I know Hoy's gone. Chives has gone. I know Ross has gone. Flu's gone. Dayman, Maverick, Alex, they're all gone. Yeah, so this isn't a representation of their pace at all. I mean, a lot of those guys that set early lap times, like Hoy, Chives, Connor, Prev, that kind of is their pace at the moment. But just for people further down who are in the drop zone, they may be able to get through, and it's just not quite a fair platform, unfortunately. So we will be having a restart. Time will tell if we're able to get a new lobby up. But yes, we will be leaving this. Right, so there we go. Oh. There will be a restart, but hopefully the servers are playing ball and we can actually create one. because at the moment we can't. Well, what an excellent start to the evening. For those that missed it earlier on, I have a Series S. I'm not flexing, but that's why the stream was a little bit delayed. For some reason the settings just weren't playing ball, and I think I may have glitched the lobby. It may be a Codemasters thing, but hence we are having a restart. A restarted qualifying session. It will most probably be a short 18-minute quali session. Either that, or we may have to postpone this race and do it on another occasion, which obviously would be a shame, but you know, it is what it is. Cool. Ross has John, hello. I like how I come back from a month of not racing and I see nothing has changed. Well, typical, isn't it? Absolutely typical. Guess you're the... No, honestly, mate, I think I may have something to do with that glitch. Due to my Xbox antics. Accidental, may I say, but it could have been my fault, so who knows. Yeah, it could be servers, could just be a glitch, could be me. Don't know. Could be Boris, who knows. So, restarted lobby. That guy has joined, couldn't join the first lobby, so he's in luck. We are missing one driver, I believe. Or is it two? I'm trying to see who we are missing. Felly and Maverick need to pick their cars. But we are missing a couple of people, so maybe they haven't quite got the memo of joining. Yeah, we will be getting this back underway. We are doing a short qualifying session. The drivers were given a very quick vote in Discord, whether a short quali or a full qualifying session, and the majority, the overwhelming majority, shall I say, have chosen short qualifying. So Maverick needs to choose his car, if you're here. I believe AJ Sam is missing, so just waiting for AJ Sam to join. Maverick's got his car, that's good news for us. One step closer to getting this lobby back underway. And AOT Alex as well. I knew there was another person we were missing. AJ Sam is now back in, which is good news. Just waiting for AOT Alex, if he will rejoin, and then we will have a full grid. 18-minute qualifying session is upon us, which means whatever lap time you set in the top 10, that is what you will have to start the race on. For those outside the top 10, they can choose whatever tyres they want. And of course, this qualifying session is going to be very, very busy. There's going to be 19 or 20 drivers all on track at the same time throughout pretty much all 18 minutes of the session. So it's going to be a very frantic session. Prepare yourself for a lot of lap times changing on the left hand side of your screen. It is going to get absolutely crazy. Traffic is going to be bad, indeed it is. I'll try inviting AOT Alex. I don't know if anyone's given him an invite yet, but he must be on my recently played with. So I'll just ping him an invite and see if he joins. Oh, he's here! Hello! Hello, Alex. Wow, we can head off now. I'm just going to grab a quick drink before we get started because I have a feeling my voice may end up like the rear end of a horse in about 18 minutes' time. And here we go. The most frantic 20 minutes of your life is about to begin. The most frantic 20 minutes of my brain is about to begin. And the most frantic 20 minutes of my mouth is about to begin. And that is a sentence I never thought I'd be saying here this evening. So here we go then, 18-minute quali, hopefully a non-glitch lobby, hopefully Codemaster servers are behaving themselves, hopefully all of these drivers behave themselves, because as we said, 20 drivers around a very, very short track may not work so well. So, we're just going to have to see what goes on. A full grid. We should finish this evening at roughly a similar time due to this only being an 18-minute session, so it's not about... it shouldn't be too much of an issue about when we finish this evening. Should finish at almost an identical time. Maybe 5 or 10 minutes earlier, if we're lucky. And good evening, Lando. Hope you're well. You've missed practically an hour of chaos. My stream decided to mess up, so we missed Q1, but in Q2 we had loads of glitches, so we had a restarted lobby. But here we are, a fresh slate for those who went out in Q1. I know TD, Padge, Alex and someone else went out in Q1, so they've been given a lifeline with this qualifying session. And perhaps those at the top, people like Chives, Fairley, SLR Connor, all with quick times, perhaps they might feel a little bit hard done by. However, it's a clean slate. A fresh opportunity for everyone involved to set a quick lap time. Our featured driver for the evening is Flu32 in the Aston Martin. He's on an out lap. We'll stay on board with SLR Connor and then we'll jump over to Flu, where we'll tell you a little bit about himself, get to know the drivers a bit. Something we do in the No Assist Tier 1 division here at IIRL. Gonna using the medium tyres, as a handful of people are. Got a few more people equipping the mediums. Interesting to see if anyone can get through to the top 10. Or qualify in the top 10, should I say, on those medium tyres, because the strategy is definitely beneficial for starting on the mediums. Do a simple medium to hard strat. Otherwise it may be a two-stop. John not taking the risk of the mediums. He goes fastest on a 1 minute 10.7. Connor, Wiggles and TD all using mediums. Here comes Flu now out of the final corner. the soft tyres, he goes P3, just ahead of Whistler Wiggles. Both Ferraris not doing too badly. They like to qualify together, something I've noticed. P6 and P7 for the Ferraris, 1 minute 12.1 and 3 respectively. So then Flew, as he comes into probably a slow lap and go for another run on those soft tyres. Let's tell you a bit more about him. He hails in France, hence the gamer tag, Flew. But apparently I've been pronouncing it wrong. Yeah, apparently it's Flew X. And not just Flew. So I've been pronouncing his name wrong the whole time. It's, yeah. Oh wait, it says you don't say the X of Flew, so I have been saying it right the whole time. Well, there we go then. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his gamer tag right, and hopefully I don't upset him. So apologies about that, but he does hail from France. He's from Alsace, where Sebastian Loeb was, who is Flew's favourite driver. Sebastian Loeb, a very famous French rally driver, won many rally championships, I believe, and he races on a Thrustmaster wheel, TM open wheel add-on and TLCM pedals, whatever that means. I race on controller and I have no idea about that stuff. And he has an Xbox Series X, a lucky person that he is. He doesn't have a best track, but he loves certain tracks like Monaco Spa, Baku, Imola, Portimao, Nürburgring, Hockenheim, just to name a few. But he doesn't like Zandvoort so much, so we'll have to see how Flew gets on. Maybe that's why he's using the soft tyre here. He also doesn't like Suzuka Vietnam, just to name a couple. His favourite F1 driver is Pierre Gasly, as you can imagine. No surprise there. The French driver supporting the French driver. Bear with me 1 minute, there's a knock on my door. Apologies about that. Delivery driver decided that 8:30 in the evening was a good time to drop off a parcel. Chives going second fastest. Fairley and Connor in the two Mercedes, up in third and fourth. Appy in fifth place, improving his place, setting on the set of those soft tyres. Mr. Wiggles in P6. Flew on an outlap now in P7. Two Alphas 8th and 9th. In the form of Ross and Padge, very close between the two on the mediums. Prev in 10th, TD 11th, Dayman Edward, that guy, 12th, 13th and 14th, all on the medium tyre, as is Clements, who was qualifying in the top 5 in the original lobby, so we may see him fly up the board. And I have to say, those times from Fairley and Connor are very good, considering the medium tyres they used to set them. Currently, it is Red Bull out in front. Handful of drivers in the pits. We've got 8 in the pits right now. Made that 9 with that guy coming into the pits, so 11 out on track. And not quite as congested as we thought it would be. However, if you look in Sector 1 and Sector 2, there are certainly a lot of cars. But there's also a nice little gap of about 20 seconds, I reckon. As Dayman retires, and that is in Sector 1, just after the split. So Dayman can't improve on his lap time. He may end up leaving this session a little bit lower than he anticipated, but it's very easy to do that on this track. Part of the battle is minding these curbs. Some curbs will just spit you out like a cold cup of tea. How am I, lad? Yes, I'm very well, thank you, Lando. It panicked after what happened earlier with the Xbox, but hopefully we'll get to the bottom of that for next week. Just glad that we have a chance to continue the racing here this evening. Padge has also retired, and I don't know if he crashed or whether he just really wants to start on those medium tyres. But as it stands in P12, he will get a free choice of tyre for the race, as will Dayman. Ross now deciding to ditch those mediums, put on a set of soft tyres that match the lovely livery of his Alfa Romeo, and see what he can do. He's currently coming to the end of Sector 2 now. Half a second up. It's going to put him on course for a 1:11.3 like SLR Connor. A bit more improvement in that final sector, and he may find himself jumping above the other Mercedes of Fairley up into the top 3. Here comes Ross. It's a 1:11.2, only a small gain in Sector 3, however still enough to put him into P4. Very nice. However, he did use a set of soft tyres to get there. Maybe that isn't the preferred strategy. Let's go on board now with RPR Maverick, who is coming to start a lap. Dayman, force feedback stopped working on my wheel mid-lap, so just completely oversteered into the wall. That is super unlucky. Ross, still some bugs with the wheels going on. Wheels just cutting out, force feedback working, not working. It's, yeah, very unfortunate for wheel drivers. Especially as you spent so much money on the wheels, the pedals, the racing seat. APS Appy on his home track, P3 in the Ferrari. What a lap there from our highest rank Dutchman, I believe. I know Chives is British, but I'm not quite sure what nationality John is. But certainly APS Appy is flying around his home track. Watch out also for Hori K in P7. He's also Dutch. Maverick into the pits. John is USA. I didn't think he was Dutch. I believe Prev also is from the Netherlands, so watch out for him as well. He may like it here on his home track. And I'm sure our race is looking forward to Sunday night. Where he will race in Sys Tier 2. I'm sure our race is looking forward to that. I didn't mean to offend you. I just forgot where you were from, that's all. It's hard to keep up. So that guy then, setting the slowest time on the mediums. However, plenty of improvement so far, as Wiggles has crashed at the banked corner in Sector 1. So Wiggles struggling. He is in P8, so he may still get through to the top 10. Not that it really matters. That guy goes P8 and pushes Mr. Wiggles down a place. We've also got TD on a lap. And there you see Wiggles just in the background there. That is where his Haas is not working anymore. We've got the top 3 in the pits. We've got Fairley out on a lap. And he may be using a set of soft tyres to try and get pole position from the American John. I'm not going to lie, John. I thought it was American, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong, because I hate upsetting people. So, yes. Ouch, that naughty curb on the left was going like 10 mile an hour into the wall. Yeah, it happens on this track, unfortunately. Oh, and TD there. Straight on. At turn 1, just missing his braking zone and locking up the wheels. It would seem. I'm sure TD's low on fuel actually, so I think he'll be racing to get back into the pits to try and get out again. Back with Flew now, who sets a purple middle sector and is 0.3 up in the middle part of the lap. And as that stands, that will put him around P8, around that guy. Been very impressed with Flew since he started in our league. Loses a 10th in the final sector on that lap, stays P13, which only a couple of tenths away from P7. So that just shows you how close the field is. Clement's avoiding a Red Bull of, well, either one of the Red Bulls. They're out on outlaps right now. So, Prev then. From Holland. Or the Netherlands, I should say. Don't know if they use Holland these days anymore. Perhaps Alrose can let us know whether use Holland. Yes, we do. I know some people say Holland, some people say Netherlands. I know it's the same place, but it's kind of like, which one is it? You know what I mean? Prev goes P11. Jumps TD, who is back into the pits and will probably get out for another lap. You can see a whole bunch of congestion as there's 7 or 8 cars in a row around Sector 1. John has retired and he's crashed at the same place that Wiggles has. The only slight difference is Mr. Wiggles is in P9. John is currently on the front row of the grid. But what can his teammate Chives do? He's on a slow lap and half a second down in the middle part of the lap. Appy's on the slow lap also. What about Hoi K though? He's on a flyer, and through the first part of this lap he is a 10th up. Gets DRS now to the Sector 2 split, where we'll see how good of a middle sector he's had, and he's also down, so he's I think he may have just had to maneuver that traffic, and you can just see two Mercedes behind, both in traffic as well. I think an Aston Martin of that guy or Flew might be in that group as well. Both starting laps. It's getting very tight towards the end of the session. Only 40 seconds left, so that means Ross will stay P6 at best. Raticus and Alex can't set valid lap times in this 18-minute session, so they will start on the back row of the grid together. We've got Padge, Dayman, Wiggles and John all with their own respective crashes, so they can't improve. So there's 13 drivers out there that can improve their lap time. I have a feeling though that Flew may not get round to start a new lap time in time. He's on an outlap, it says, and there's only 5 seconds left before the checkered flags fall, so that may be a slight bug. He may be on a lap, we just don't know it. Flew has finished. Indeed, he did not get round to start a new lap, so Flew, our featured driver, will start P13. Chives can't improve his time, or his place, sorry. He starts P3 at best. SLR Connor is on provisional pole after taking that about 5 minutes ago. Dr. Edward jumps ahead of his teammate, but now Hoyt K has a chance to fight back and challenge for pole. He goes P6 on the soft tyre, fairly jumps up to P2 and ditches those mediums. Clements will start on the medium tyres. He finishes in P11. APS Appy's off the track, and SLR Connor will take pole position. He heads into the pits, unless TD has a flying lap here. Across the line, he is up on his time, but not in that last sector. He just lost a bit of time and missed his personal best by 5 milliseconds. So TD can't improve. He will stay P13. And not an awful lot of improvements on those last flying laps there. So there you have it. We said it was going to be frantic. It certainly was. AMS Fairley just missing out on pole from his teammate by 200ths of a second. And how many times have we seen Connor and Fairley up at the top battling for pole with each other? And just like in real life, the last couple of seasons, we have two Mercedes on the front row. We have 2 Red Bulls on the middle row of the grid, just like we saw in Mexico this weekend. Further down the field, we have 2 of our 3 Dutch drivers. APS Appy and Hoi K will share row 3. I'm sure they will be happy with that. Ross and Dr. Edward on row 4. That guy, Mr. Wiggles, into the top 10. Mr. Wiggles using the medium tyre. However, with an early crash, he will be the only one, perhaps, to start on the mediums. Definitely in the top 10. And just look how close it is between, say, that guy on a 111.5 and Flew in P14 on a 111.6. Prev in P12. TD 13th. Kemets in 11th. Padge, Maverick, Dayman, Sam, Raticus and Alex rounding up the field. So there you have it, a little bit of a different qualifying session here this evening, and very congested, I'm sure. Hopefully the steward doesn't get too many clips of blocking in qualifying. I have a feeling, maybe from the chat, that Hoi K got very unlucky with traffic. Did I see you spin out the final corner? I don't think I did. I don't think I did, no. But I'm sure TD's the type of guy to be happy that we didn't catch that on stream. And if everyone can press advance, I think that's what we're just waiting for. We can move on. I believe on this game it's a little bit different than last game. It will just give you, as soon as the first person presses advance, it will start a 30-second timer. However, on this game it waits for every single driver to press advance. So I think we are just waiting on Alex to press advance. So if you are watching the stream, mate, please press advance. We can get going with our 5-minute break. While waiting, a bit more about Flew. I asked him what his strength was. He said, I don't know, I'm not that fast on one lap. Maybe I'm too bad on setting the car up, I don't know. But I know that I'm not bad in a race. I try not to make mistakes, not waste time in unnecessary battles. I saw a person behind which was faster. I'd let them pass, try to follow, as I did last week with the top 3. Maybe it's not good because I'm not aggressive, but first to finish first, you have to first finish. So yeah, and he said, when you see the season, I've only done 3 races: P4, P6, and P4. So I tell you what, Flu's not in too bad of a position here. However, it is very difficult to overtake on this Netherlands track, and how crucial it is perhaps that those top 4 qualified in that order. Mercedes definitely maybe taking home a lot of points here this evening, but Red Bull definitely quick enough. Just look at those times on the board to mount a challenge for the win and the podium. And of course, never count out Hoi K. And I have to say, never count out APS Appy on his home track. I am sure that he is going to have something to say in this race. And of course, it's a bit of a joke question. I always ask the drivers, who do you prefer on commentary, Sun God or David Croft? Just to make people laugh, basically. And he says the Sun God, of course, but in France the commentator is very good, Julien Febreau. I was crying with him at Monza last year, when obviously Pierre Gasly won the race. So, yeah, I've got some competition, guys. Not only do I have David Croft to contend with, I've also got Julien Febreau, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And again, we are just waiting for Alex. And I think we will be having a restarted lobby. Very unfortunate, however, just a bit of a shame that Alex hasn't pressed advance here. Many drivers are frustrated, and unfortunately we can't just press start leave, so we have to quit the F1 game. Oh, I've pressed the wrong thing. thought the stream was going to mess up there again. I didn't want to say it and jinx it, but... Definitely a pain in the butt. Stream quality seems to be alright, so hopefully we won't have any issues. Oh wow, ART Alex is here! Would be ironic if he readied up in the 5-minute break, didn't he? Right, so here we go. The custom grid is ready. All 20 drivers are back in. Our second restart of the evening. Ironically, only 10 minutes behind schedule. So we will be finished at a vaguely reasonable time this evening. Apologies for the slight delay. Hopefully no one readies up too early. We will have a couple of minutes break in this lobby, just so drivers can remember their setups, choose their correct strategy. Remember, top 10 have to start on the tyre compound that they use to get through to Q3, in the top 10, sorry. So if they qualified on the mediums, for instance, I think Mr. Wiggles was the only one who used the medium tyres to get through into the top 10, so he will have to start on the medium tyre. The rest of the top 10 will have to start on the soft compound. From 11th down to 20th, they can choose whatever tyre they want. Those are the rules. Of course, drivers are reminded to remember their setups. Someone has readied up already. Not quite sure who that is. Would be very ironic if it was Alex. And here we go, formation lap is underway. And here you can see the tyres. Hoike on the mediums will have to currently not on the right tyre. However, someone did ready up early, so I assume that Hoike didn't have enough time to put the correct tyre on. So time will tell what will happen about that. But that may not be his fault. That may just be a consequence of everything else that happened in the last couple of minutes, and certain people may not have their strategy and setup. Atticus and Alex on the hard tyres at the back of the field. Definitely look out for them. They may go long into the race and may find themselves jumping up a few places around lap 18 or lap 20 when people come in for their normal scheduled pit stops. Also look out for Flu and Prev. They're starting on the soft tyres at the back of the field, or in the back of the midfield I should say. Lots of people on the medium tyre towards the back end of the grid. And of course, watch out for those for 8 of those top 9 drivers on the soft tyres. And everyone is loading in for the start of the race. And the Dutch Grand Prix is underway in IIRL. Good start there for Ross, who seems to have jumped Hoike off the line. Lots of drivers going side by side. They're going 3 wide in the midfield, and there's a guy, who was that? I think that's Flu, who has been perhaps pushed or encouraged into the wall at turn 1. So Flu there losing ground early on, our feature driver not having a feature race, shall we say. SLR Connor gets away cleanly from the front. and leads his teammate by half a second. Side by side are Chives and Ross. Chives just staying ahead of Ross, however, saying that, Ross down the inside now into Sector 2, and Chives has the inside line now for the very long turn 10. Bit of wheel contact between the two, looks like Ross has the better exit, and this is great racing between these two. Very squeezed for space is Chives, and Ross gets that move done. Oh, and Chives is gone. Looked like his wheel came off before the contact with the wall, but Chives is out, and there is a virtual safety car. So Chives not having the best lap 1 there. We are expecting everyone to go onto the hard tyres in their pit stop, says the game. Virtual safety car has come out, which means drivers have to abide by a certain lap time each lap. If they exceed a delta they have on their screen, when the virtual safety car finishes, they will get a drive-through penalty. Flew is into the pits, and with the virtual safety car out, he will lose less time in the pits. So that is a little bit of good news for him, but Flew does definitely need a safety car. In fact, he has chosen to retire in the pits, so unfortunate there for Flew. I think it's been a very unfortunate evening just in general with all the restarts and everything that's gone on. SLR Connor, as the virtual safety car has finished, has got that drive-through penalty we've mentioned, so SLR Connor, that is a big shock there. Our race leader will be dropping to the back of the field. AJ Sam has also had a bit of an issue this lap. After the VSC finished, he's dropped back around 6 or so seconds, and SLR Connor into the pits there to serve his drive-through straight away. And the battle for the lead now is not between SLR Connor and Fairley, it's between Fairley and John. And due to Chives' retirement in the top 4 and Connor's drive-through in the top 4, we now have a top 4 of Fairley, John, Hoy K, and APS Appy, who is looking to, well, I was about to say looking to get past Hoy K, but he should be defending from that guy. He's got past just after the banked left-hander in Sector 1. And of course, big chance here that APS Appy doesn't have a setup on, and indeed he'll be a little bit quicker on the straights because he should have a balanced setup of 8 wings. But everyone else will probably be running, as we see Mr. Wiggles in the background off the track, and Raticus as well struggling. He was up in, I think, 11th place at one point, but now finds himself down in 16th. Battle out front, getting very close there. Side by side go John and Fairley. John looking to swing it around the outside. Looks like they're very close between wheel contact, if there was any at all. Let's not forget both of these drivers on the soft tyres. John wants to make this move, and he looks like maybe in this portion of the race he is a little bit quicker. Koike is holding P3 from that guy. Dr. Edward now is in P5, and Prev has passed his teammate Appy on the previous lap. Kemments, P8. Padge, I was going to say, having a great race so far, up to P9. However, he's gone off in Sector 2, and he's lost all of his good work in the first few laps, and there's a safety car out. What's happened to Padge? Well, he's lost his front wing. We can see that, and that's brought AJ Sam back into the mix. And of course, Padge will pit to fix his damage, and he'll be able to catch up with the field. So them two have been given a slight reprieve. Dr. Edward into the pits early, and I wonder if he's going to go onto the hard tyres here. Onto mediums. his... Oh no, onto a new set of soft tyres. Sorry, I am blind this evening. TD onto hard tyres. SLR Connor onto hard tyres. And this is good news for SLR Connor as he had a drive-through earlier on in the race, so this has brought him back into the fray. ALT Alex has disconnected, or has just left. He has boxed for a new front wing and a set of mediums. Padge, of course, we know is boxing to fix his damage. And a new set of mediums for Padge, so he's on to a 2-stop. And of course, a nice shiny front wing. Let's have a look at positions gained. Currently our big winner is Raticus, using those hard tyres and capitalising on people's pit stops and mistakes, although he could have been higher had it not been for a little mistake of his a few laps ago. But still, he's up 9 places. Maverick is up 8 places from P16 on the grid. Prev is up 7 from P12 and finds himself in the top 5. John into the pits, or perhaps not. Trying to bait Fairly perhaps into going into the pits, but it hasn't worked, and they all stay out. That guy also having a good start to the race. He's up 5. Mark says, not surprised to see people go onto the hard tyres this early when there's a safety car. It's basically a free pit stop and they won't need to stop again if they look after their tyres. That is a very, very good point. And indeed something that perhaps I would have considered if I was out there in the cockpit this evening. AMS Fairley, the only driver on the grids so far in this race to not have gained or lost a place. Having said that, AJ Sam boxes for a new set of medium tyres. Everyone else has either gone up or down the field from their starting position. Most noticeably Chives, who has DNF'd on lap 1. Spin in sector 3. Flew also involved in some chaos at turn 1. And deciding this race perhaps isn't for him. 2 retirements so far. Okay, capitalising from SLR Connor's drive-through, which is why he's down 12 places. And Chives' crash, he's now up into podium places. Good game for Kemmons as well. He's up to P7. APS-RP may not have a setup on after someone readied up too early in this restarted lobby, and that's why he's down a place, but he was having a nice little battle with Hoike and that guy for 3rd. So let's just hope that that APS-RP can recover something from this race, because he's been very quick in qualifying. Mr. Wiggles up a place in P9, however did have a slight moment off the track in the first couple of laps. Dr. Edward is down 3, however he has made a pit stop under the safety car, whereas everyone ahead of him has not. Dayman also hasn't pitted, but having a nice little start from him. Up 5 places. ALT Alex is up 4, but is not racing. His AI has taken over. TD and Ross, you'd expect to see them a little bit higher up. They've both pitted as well, that's why they're down a little bit. And Padge, we saw him with no front wing. So he's dropped down to the back of the field, just ahead of AJ Sam. So that is the rundown of the grids before this safety car restarts. And of course, with such a long run down to turn 1, I'm sure that John will not want to go too early here. give Fairley an opportunity to get the slipstream and make a move into turn 1. And Hoyke and Fairley both have a 5-second penalty. John John's gone for it just after the banked final corner, and that is quite early, you'd say. However, he's got the jump on Fairley, who's defending for his life from Hoyke behind. Interesting to see which one of those two will send in a clip to the steward. Oh, and John John's lost there, the bank corner. He's not out of the race, but he is out of the lead. And I'm sure that will be a virtual safety car with all that debris on the track. Fairley is now leading this race from Hoyke. Definitely an unforced error there. Maybe cold tyres, who knows. Lap 8 of 36. No virtual safety car. That debris is cleared. And John John finds himself with big damage and a big deficit to make up. He's already 10 seconds behind AJ Sam. John John will definitely need to hope another safety car comes out in this race. Meanwhile, AMS Fairley is pulling away from Hoyke due to Hoyke being on the medium compound tyres. AMS Fairley now needs to capitalise on this. He is 1 second to the good, and that means that next time round Hoyke won't have DRS, and Hoyke is defending from that guy Prev and Appy. Dr. Edward and Maverick in a nice little fight. Dr. Edward getting past the AlphaTauri driver there into turn 1. John John does pit as we expected him to. We've also got SLR Connor on the hard tyres behind Maverick. Got Ross looking for a move on Dayman. That guy has lost positions. Doesn't look like he has damage to his end plates, so maybe a bit of a snap of oversteer there, and it's cost him 3 places behind Prev Appy and Kemmons, and now Wiggles is behind the Aston Martin driver and looking to get a move done. We've got a nice little fight here. Maverick losing ground. Remember, he's not just on the medium tyre, he's on 8-lap old medium tyres, hasn't pitted yet. All of these drivers swarming like a pack of wolves behind have all pitted onto brand new tyres. SLR Connor a little bit aggressive there, a bit of a wheel contact, but gets the move done. Didn't look like that was illegally done, but a little bit close for comfort there. Ross now looking to get a nice exit. Oh, this is going to end in tears, you'd think. Maverick stays ahead by the skin of his medium tyres. And there goes Ross down the inside. Very nice move. He's got that done, and there comes Dayman up the inside. They're on identical tyres, Dayman and Maverick. TD getting past Maverick, or is he? These three are all very close to each other, and Maverick, definitely a lap to forget for him. Lap 10 of 36. Fairley leads the race by 1.8 seconds. Hoyke is in P2 and has a 2.6 second advantage on Prev, who is defending from his teammate, and from Kemmons, who looked to have a very nice run at both Ferraris there. And that guy behind still in striking distance. Raticus doing well to defend from Mr. Wiggles in P7. Remember, Raticus here on these hard tyres can go a very long distance into this race, and if a safety car comes out from, say, lap 20 to 30, could put on a set of those soft tyres for the remainder of the race. Be in a very good position. So Raticus, if he plays his cards right here, could have a Very good strategy on his hands. Bit of a queue here forming behind Prev. We've got Appy, who have DRS, Kemence DRS, that guy, Raticus, Wiggles, Dr. Edward, and Essil O'Connor, as well as Ross, all having DRS on the car ahead here. So Prev needs to do a mighty job defending and taking a wide line in turn 1. If you remember here last season, in assist tier 1 or no assist, I can't remember which division it was, Tiddy Newt defended for his life. He held off from 3 or 4 drivers behind for a good part of 20 laps to take home an unlikely podium. I only say unlikely because he did miraculously well at defending for so long. Maybe Prev could be the driver to replicate that here this evening. Remember, the top 2 have a 5-second penalty for a bit of a touch under safety car. Of course, those 5-second penalties can be removed by the stewards. Either both of these drivers do have a 5-second lead over Prev here. So at the moment, those penalties aren't playing a factor. Here comes APS Appy now on the inside of his teammate through turn 1. It means that for all these cars behind, there's no way through, as Prev is the only one without DRS. And it's getting super close with drivers. Look at that guy. Look how close he is to the back of the Williams. And we got Mr. Wiggles on the back of the Alpine of Dr. Edward looking to get past too. Lots of battles up and down the fields. We've got Dayman, who is looking to strike back on TD after TD has got past Dayman in the last lap or 2. John is onto the hard tyre, where I assume he'll be for the rest of the race, but he will need a safety car if he wants to get back into it. And we have a car going wide, and that is Raticus. It is going to be a little bit different from their original strategies, as we see Kemence and that guy getting super close on the straight. Kemence avoiding APS Appy like plague. Let's not forget here, Kemence is not in a bad place. He's on the medium tyres here, which means he has to go to the soft compound tyre for the second stint of this race, whereas those around him, Prev, Appy, that guy, we know will be going on to either the medium or the hard tyres here. So the longer that Kemence can stay in P5 or higher, the better off this is going to be for him. Maverick into the pits. Sped in the pit lane, I believe, so that's a 5-second penalty for him, which I don't quite know if he's served right now. I don't think he is, but I'll have to wait and see on that. Yeah, Kemence definitely looks like he might have some pace here. Remember, those soft tyres of Fairley, that guy, and the 2 Ferraris are going to go off very, very soon if they haven't already. So this may be a perfect opportunity for someone like that guy to perform an undercut move. Oh, and that guy's gone wide at turn 1, and just as we were mentioning him, manages to just keep hold of P6 ahead of Raticus. But this could be a good opportunity here for the likes of Appy, that guy, to perform an undercut move, get some free space with some new tyres, and try and make a move. Amos Fairley out in front, leads by 2.3 seconds from Hoi K, and I have to say Hoi K's done well to only limit that gap to 2 seconds, considering he's on the medium compound tyre. Prev is 7 seconds behind Hoi and 10 seconds off the lead. But I'm sure that Prev will only be concerned right now with holding on to third. SL O'Connor is up into 13th after Maverick's pit stop. Let's see if Kemmets can make a move on APS Appy here. Both of them are gaining on Prev, as they have been every single lap. But once again, Prev holds on, and maybe his ERS management and usage is spot on. Again, a massive DRS train, which Ross is now involved in. He's on the back of this. Oh, and there's a Haas of Mr. Wiggle as he's round after the bank left-hander. Don't know whether that was contact. Raticus and Connor both in the pits. So, let's see. Both on a new set of medium tyres. Don't know if they've made wing changes. APS Alray says Connor is off. So, maybe has some damage and needed to pit. It might be quite smart here for someone like APS Appy or that guy to make an undercut opportunity here, head into the pits, get out in some clean air. Prev is into the pits, so he releases his teammate very much into the lion's den. Now APS Appy has to contend with a handful of drivers breathing down his neck. Hoi K onto the softs, Prev onto the mediums. We mentioned Fairley and Hoy will have to serve the 5-second penalties in the pits. That is true. However, if they serve them in the pits and then a safety car comes out to bunch the field up, they cannot get their penalties removed, as that disadvantage was nullified. That guy having an issue, and he's off in sector 2. Bit of a spin there. Maybe some contact with another driver, and nice little fight here. Who was it? APS Dayman is defending from not only his teammate, but TD and Hoi K as well. Wiggles is now past his teammate. TD down the inside of Hoi K, using those really old hard tyres. A little bit of contact there between Hoi and TD. Appy into the pits, as is Ross and Fairley, our previous race leader. Kemmets now leads the race by 1.4 seconds. However, he may very well get undercut here when Kemmets comes out of the pits for his stop. Lap 18 of 36. We are at half race distance, as TD a little bit wide there at the bank corner. Side by side there with Mr. Wiggles, and it looks like Mr. Wiggles has to settle for P7 behind TD right now. We know for a fact that Kemmets in P1, Dayman in 5th, and Wiggles in 7th definitely do need to pit. They have not made their mandatory 1 pit stop yet, so we are expecting 3 drivers at a minimum to come into the pit stops. We may see the likes of TD come into the pits as well on those 12-lap old hard tyres, maybe for a stint on the softs at the end of the race, but we're not expecting too many more pit stops, and I'm sure we're all hoping for no more safety cars. Oh, and contact between the two Hash drivers, and it just looked like Wiggles had a bit of a run on Dayman, got side by side. There is a safety car, and it looked like Dayman wasn't quite aware that Wiggles was there. Meanwhile, Padge is off at the final corner too. Yeah, it looked like the two Hasses went side by side. Wiggles was alongside, but not fully alongside Dayman, but Dayman just didn't seem to realise and cut the space off. Wiggles into the grass, and contact between the two. Wiggles is out of this race. I believe, through no fault of his own. However, I'm not the steward, so... Actually, I'm not the steward, so I can comment on it. And SLR Connor, yet again, for the second time in this race, a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. Did it lag on your screen? I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, Dayman was very laggy. I don't think we saw too much lag there from Dayman. This, of course, is an absolute gift to the top two, who are going to pit. Kemmons will go onto the hard compound tyre. However, probably could have gone onto the softs for 16 laps. So maybe that was a mistake. I definitely would have gone onto the soft tyre from his position, but either way, he will go to the end of the race now on this set of tyres. TD also pits, he needed to. Perhaps, and he's onto the medium. No, he's onto the soft compound tyre. Dr. Edward also into the pits. He's out on the mediums and he's up in P5. Prev is in P4 and his teammate APS Appy is in P6. I'll tell you what, Appy's had a phenomenal race considering he doesn't have a setup on. It looked like he ran me off from the lag. It definitely seemed on our screen that Dayman just moved across, not realising you were alongside, and just forced you onto the grass. That's what it seemed like from our perspective, however, feel free to disagree. Everyone is on tyres that are less than 3 laps old, so we should see an interesting battle for the remaining 15 laps. Amos Fairley is leading this race, however that safety car has shaken things up as Hoi K is behind him now. Only a couple of cars width ahead. Hoi K is more importantly on a set of soft tyres. And with Kemmons in P3 on a set of hard tyres. And Dayman has retired, and that is on the main straight. What has happened with Dayman? Safety car will stay out probably another lap because of this. Maybe 2 laps, depending on how fast Sam and Maverick can catch up to the fields. And Dayman that's an odd place to crash. I wonder if he had a snap of oversteer coming out of the final corner. But Dayman, who may have accidentally ruined Wiggles' race, is now out himself. Let's remember that if Dayman does get a penalty for contact with Wiggles, it will pass on. It will be passed on to his next race finish, so he won't even get to serve the penalty this race. And it looks like no one needs to stop again. From the start of the fields, this is the positions gained. Fairley is up 1, Hoi K up 4. His teammate Kemmons into... oh no, Kemmons is in the Williams. That's the curse of the blue indicators again, striking me. Kemmons in the Alpine. No, in the Williams, not the Alpine. My goodness. He's up 8, as is Prev. Let's lock on it into the pits. As is AJ Sam. And I think SL O'Connor wants to serve his drive-through in the pits, but he can't. But he is onto a set of soft tyres. AJ Sam also using the red mark softs. Prev in P4, he's having a great race at his home Grand Prix. Up 8 places, Dr. Edward. Good strategy and some solid pace from him. Seen him up into P5, and with a bit of good fortune from the timing of this safety car as well, he's in a nice little spot here and could challenge for a podium. So watch out for Dr. Edward. APS Api has been very unfortunate, as he doesn't have a setup on after the restarted lobby, but still finds himself in P6, but he does have some very quick guys behind him. Ross, that guy, Raticus, all to name a few. ALT Alex is up 10, as is Raticus, into the points, both of them. TD 11th, Padge 12, John, Maverick, Eslocon, AJ, Sam towards the back end of the field. Not in the points as it stands, however, still plenty of opportunities. AMS Fairley now has the job, and he's taken his job very quickly indeed. And Hoy K here has perhaps caught AMS Fairley, and that is a fantastic safety car restart for Hoy K. Rounds, turn 1 they go, and they are side by side. As I say, Fairley has defended superbly well there from Hoy K. TD has a 5-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag, possibly an illegal overtake there in game. SL O'Connor's in the pits to serve his drive through. AJ Sam is round in sector 1, and Hoy K is still on the back of the Mercedes. We've got Apis Appy and Ross going very closely there in sector 2. Appy getting a bit of a poor turn 10. And Ross is now up into P6. John looking to fight back here. Let's not forget AMS Fairley and Hoy K. Due to that safety car, they will not be able to appeal for their 5-second penalties to be removed. However, they may not need it. They're out at the front of the field, leading 1 and 2 right now. Round the outside of Dr. Edward goes Ross, and that is a great move done by the Alfa Romeo. Ross is on the charge. His top 6 all within a second to make that top 8 drivers all within a second of the car in front, which means on lap 25 next time around they will all have DRS apart from the race leader. It's getting super tight. You've got Kemmets out there, the only one on the hard tyres in the points, but of course his tyres won't wear as quickly, which means towards the end of the race Kemmets might come back into this and maybe challenge the likes of Hoy K and Fairley for the race win. We may see the likes of Hoy K utilise those soft tyres marvellously and use that pace advantage on our race leader to try and give him the full 25 points there this evening. Dr. Edwards is out. He's crashed at the final corner, and there is yet another safety car. Raticus and TD are both into the pits. DRS is now enabled, but now disabled because of the safety car. Safety car having a nice little twitch coming out of the pit stops there. Dr. Ed was saying had way too much damage, got rear-ended like 3 times, would have dropped out of points. Well, you never know, but that is very unfortunate that got a bit too much damage there. Definitely a strong showing. Had a really good first stint, did Dr. Edward, in my opinion. Had some good fortune with the safety car, but looked in a pretty promising position there in P5. Mr. Wiggles, oh, I thought he was still in the race, but he's unfortunately not in the race. "15 runners. 7 on the soft tyre, 7 on the medium tyre, 1 runner on the hards, and that is Kemmets, who is in the podium place ahead of Prev. Ross, Appy, that guy, John, who was leading this race, but a spin and some damage sent him to the back of the field, and this safety car is massively helping John to get back into the points. AOT Alex also having a good race. He's just going up and up and up. Each safety car he's gaining places. Raticus in the points with a new set of soft tyres on, so he could be the one to look out for on the safety car restart. AJ Sam, TD, Maverick, Page, Connor out of the points, but still have a new set of soft tyres on, so watch out for them too. Dr. Edward had a few people just barge me off the road when passing, but no biggie, it was fun. Glad you enjoyed it. Unfortunate about the result, but it happens sometimes. Come back next week, bigger and better. Good time to plug our races this week. On Thursday, join us for Assist Tier 1 with Spark. On Sunday night, join us for the 82 race with TD, where he swaps the McLaren for the microphone. Join us this time next week for Monza, where we will have the sprint race format back in IIRL. Don't know what that is. You'll have to join us next week, 7:30 PM British time, with myself, the SunGod 26, and we will take you through the format next week. As for now, lap 27 should be the last lap of safety car racing. Hopefully none of these drivers get 5-second time penalties for contact, as at this point in the race it could make or break your race right now. Hard to pass in this track, but I'm getting more comfortable each time. That is good news, mate. Glad you're feeling very positive. As frustrating it is to retire from a race. So, safety car will most likely be in this lap, hopefully for the last time this race. It's been a very up and down evening with lobby restarts and glitches, and a couple of driver errors as well. But AMS Fairley, he didn't quite get the last safety car restart as he wanted. Oike got a nice run on him down the main straight. Can Fairley do one better this time? He is backing up the field a lot more than what he did last time. I wonder, will he go at a similar time? Will he go later down the straight? He's already left it a bit later than what he went last time. Oike is right on his tail, and Fairley has gone for it there. Oike does look close, but not close enough. We've got Prev and Ross going side by side there through turn 1. Fairley has got through turn 1 a bit better than last time. Oike not making a move, not close enough on this occasion. Ross, meanwhile, has had some contact with a Ferrari, it would seem, or has had a bit of a spin. He's now back to he's back to the back of the field. TD's had a really good restart past his teammate Maverick, and Alex up into P9 for TD. What a restart. And John also, he's up into P6 and looking possibly for a charge at a podium. AOT Alex losing ground. TD and Maverick swapping places. SLR Connor's back in the fray. Nice little fight going on for the final points. Oike, I wonder, is he going to use a lot of his ERS here to try and get past Fairley? those soft tyres of Hoike are going to last a bit longer due to the safety car. Not quite close enough to the back of that Merc. And there's yet another safety car. Raticus retiring out of the final corner. And let's just see what happened to his car. On the left hand side of the track there you see AJ Sam into the pits for the 4th time. And well, I know this is Zandvoort and we do expect safety cars here. But it is getting a little bit, it is just getting to the point now where we'd like to see some racing laps. Oh, and AJ Sam, a 5-second penalty for crossing the white line on the pit exit. Unforced error there for the McLaren driver from India. Fingers crossed it doesn't take too long to get this safety car restart back underway. Hyper says, hope this doesn't happen in AT1, AT2. I agree with you there, mate. And TD has a puncture. Front left puncture. Prev has a 5-second penalty for a collision with 3rd place Kemence. And what has happened with TD? We saw there was a big fight going on. We didn't see the fight itself, but we did see that TD was having a good old fight with Maverick, Alex, and I think that guy as well. So, contact between them drivers. And I'll tell you what, I think TD should catch up to the back of the pack. He's got a new set of soft tyres that he can put on, that's fine. TD currently leading the race in pit stops alongside SL O'Connor on 5. However, the race still isn't done yet. Anything can still happen from this point on. Currently, out of the top 6, Kemence in 3rd will have the best tyres right now in terms of lowest tyre wear. So maybe watch out for him. Maybe he's got something to prove here in the last 6 laps. But TD, on a brand new set of soft tyres, will be in P13. Prev into the pits, ditching those mediums. We'll probably go on to a set of soft tyres. Interesting decision here. I wonder if he's got damage. I think he's just serving the penalty. Oh, he's changing a front wing here, so damage for Prev. I hope I have a nice clean race on Sunday. This is our race. Watch him in the 82 race this week. Home track for our race. Grew up not too far away from this track at all. In fact, we could probably see his house from where we are right now, depending on the camera angle. Or maybe our race just slept in the stands, who knows. So AMS Fairley, will it be a trifecta of successful safety car restarts here? He went early last time and almost lost out. He went later the last time and did well. He's gone early again, and Hoi K definitely looks like he's got a bit of a run on Fairley here, swinging it round the outside. I wonder if this Alpine is going to fly round the Mercedes. Side by side now go the two. They're going completely side by side now into the first few corners, and on the back left-hander, Hoi K has made that move done, and that is a very impressive restart for Hoi K. APS Appy, meanwhile, is up into the podium places as Kemmets has lost a few places. Maverick is now falling down the field, and he has had a bit of an issue on the straight. Hoi K is now your leader of the race. AMS Fairley, it wasn't third time the charm for the safety car restart, but the soft tyres on Hoi K and his lightning quick reactions have given him a shot at winning this race, and APS RP is defending desperately from John. Remember, APS RP doesn't even have a setup on after this restarted lobby. I mean, I know 88 wings isn't terrible, but you've got to have a bit more downforce for this track. APS RP, I have to say, definite contender for driver of the day here this evening, especially with no setup on. But here comes John now. We got 5 cars behind, all super close, and that could end in tears at any moment. Here comes John. Can't get past APS Appy now. Ross defending from SLR Connor, who has recovered from 2 drive-through penalties here this evening. Kemmets on those hard tyres is now losing out to a lot of the soft runners behind. So where Kemmets had a good advantage at the start, he's now losing that advantage as we speak. TD up into 7th, SLR Connor up into 6th. That guy and Prev in the points. AJ Sam not too far away as well, as Maverick pits and drops to last. Also ART, Alex and Padge only a couple of seconds away from the points here. This could end any way. AMS Fairley is still not giving up on the win. He still has the tyres to fight back. APS Appy defending from John and doing a marvellous job, I have to say. Let's get your thoughts in chat. Who do you think deserves a shot at being driver of the day here this evening? But driver of the day isn't always about how many positions gained in the race, but who has driven the socks off that car from start to finish. John not close enough, but Ross is now on the back of APS Appy too, as with the leaders there's nothing to separate them to. John thinking better of a move into this right-hander. He knows this track, he knows just how hard it is to overtake. Ross very close to the back of that car. That Red Bull thought of a move, maybe got a warning there on that corner, but no penalty. SLR Connor dives down the inside, perhaps a little bit of a far-fetched move, but desperate times call for desperate measures, because SLR Connor went side by side. He's now lost out. A bit of contact there between Connor and Ross, and TD on the inside as well has got caught up in that. TD perhaps unfortunate to be spun round there. Meanwhile, APS Appy and John going side by side practically the whole race. And I'm sure TD will have something to say to the stewards about that. John now down the inside of Appy, makes that move stick, both on identical tyre wear, you'd have to imagine. But John's resolve after that early incident, and a bit of good fortune with the safety car, which you always need sometimes, has put him back on the podium. But now Ross and Connor are right behind APS Appy, who has done so well here this evening with that setup. But is it just too little too late, trying to defend from these soft tyre runners behind? We're on lap 35 of 36. Oh, and a big slide there from the Ferrari. Takes to the outside. Little bit of contact. Oh, and SLR Connor and Appy collide. Ferrari is round. We've seen many a battle between a Ferrari and a Mercedes car. And the Ferrari comes off worse on this occasion. Meanwhile, AMS Fairley's got back past Hoike, and Hoike lost maybe a second or two there. So I wonder if there was contact between these two whilst we were watching APS Appy and Connor have a nice little fight there. Connor and Appy both into the pits. Connor retiring, as does Appy. Hoike on the last lap of the field, on the last lap of the race, is 2 seconds adrift, and it looks like AMS Fairley will be winning this Grand Prix. Hoike in the Alpine will be P2, and it looks like John, after an early spin and found himself 20 seconds down, great recovery drive to be on the podium. Ross with a penalty, we'll have to see how many places that drops in, but he's in P4 and he's had a pretty solid race, you'd have to say. Prev in P5 has always been in the top 5 for a large portion of this race, as Kemmons goes a little bit wide there in Sector 3. AMS Fairley now coming across the line to win the Dutch Grand Prix with a new fastest lap of the race. Hoike now across the line, he will finish P2. John on the podium, and Ross will finish P5 as Prev jumps him on penalties. Kemmons, a good solid race from him up into P6. AJ Sam beats TD on the line by a 10th. ART Alex into the points, and Padge as well, taking home a point for Alfa Romeo here this evening. That guy was in the points for large portions of this race, but just finishing outside of the points on this occasion, and Maverick finishing the race in P12. So now it is my job to decide driver of the day, and well, there were so many good drives. There were so many unfortunate moments for drivers who had good races and good evenings here in Zandvoort. I think probably one of the most consistent drivers here this evening, who I think drove the socks off their car, is hometown boy Prev. He had an absolutely fantastic race, and also Hoike as well on his home Grand Prix. APS Appy would have got driver of the day, perhaps. Wow, I mean, I could give it to all 3 Dutch drivers, but I guess that would be seen as a bit biased. I could give it to AMS Fairley. Didn't really put a foot wrong either. All of these drivers definitely deserve special mentions. Definitely special mention to Appy. I haven't quite decided on the driver of the day. There's been some very up and down moments. I'm definitely going to give it to... Okay, I'm going to give it to Prev and to Hoike. I think they drove the socks off of their cars all night. They weren't distracted too much by all the restarts, and they definitely deserved what they got here this evening. Definitely a special mention to Appy. Very unfortunate for what happened to him at the end. Again, very unfortunate for what happened to TD2. Again, Fairley didn't really put a foot wrong. He could have got driver of the day. So many good contenders out there, but I think on this one moment of grace, I'm going to give it to the Dutch-based drivers. Hoike and Prev are your drivers of the day. So there you have it. A very up and down evening. Hopefully we don't get as many issues and glitches on Thursday and Sunday night this week for the Netherlands Grand Prix. Join us next week for the Monza Grand Prix, where we'll be having our sprint race format. If you don't know what that is all about, set a reminder in your phone for next Tuesday, 7:30 British time. We'll see you then. As for this week, hope you have a fantastic one, and join us throughout the week for 81-82. See you next time.